Alright guys, started my Monday with some French toast. I think it's about 100 grams of liquid egg whites, 2 whole eggs, and then that's just regular white bread. And I just used the leftover eggs to make the omelet at the bottom. Topped that all with honey. And you're seeing my squats here. Squats and deadlifts were the two main movements today. This is my last warm-up set with 315. And this is my first set with the belt on. I do all of my warm-up sets usually until I get up to 3 plates with no belt on, just in case anyone was curious. Then it was 4 sets of 5 with 350. Everything went pretty smoothly. It's always a little bit harder than I think it should be, but it's just a little bit different when you know you don't have a plus set or anything. You just don't get as psyched up, so sometimes it feels a little bit harder. But definitely went well. And my weight was pretty high this morning. I did weigh in at 177. I think it'll be down in the next couple of days, but that's still pretty high. And I've said this multiple times, but I'm going to be capping macros off after I add 2 more grams of fat just to even things out a little bit. But it'll be 220 protein, 440 carbs, 80 fat. And I'm going to try to stay between 180 and 185 for a little bit. I don't want to get too much heavier than that because I do plan to compete in the 181s in powerlifting, so no need to get too much higher than that. I do feel that my upper body movements get stronger at a much quicker rate when I'm at about 180 to 185, and when I'm lower than that, it's much more difficult for me to gain strength on bench press and overhead press and things like that. My lower body tends to respond regardless. And I didn't mention this earlier, but you'll see all 4 sets of squats in this vlog and all 3 doubles on deadlifts. You'll also see 1 set of each of the accessories I did. I did some shoulder adductions for lats and some cable biceps curls, obviously for biceps. And I see a lot of people doing shoulder adduction and medial rotation exercises, which are flies for the most part. Pretty much any variation, but especially cable flies, where you'll get a lot of shoulder adduction for chest, for pecs. But I don't really see a whole lot of people doing shoulder adduction movements for lats. And the main function of the lats is shoulder extension and shoulder adduction. So I just decided to try these out. My lats suck, so I'm willing to do something like this, but my focus is still powerlifting, so I didn't want to expend a lot of energy. And I also didn't have a lot of time, so I just did adductions for my 1 lat movement this day and biceps curls with cables for biceps. But you're seeing deadlifts here, and this one's kind of cut off. I apologize for that. That's 2 sets of 2 down, 1 set to go. Definitely working on my starting position. I tend to sit my hips too far down, getting there slowly. Up next is the shoulder adduction movement I was talking about. This is kind of like a fly. You just don't cross in front of your body and get that medial rotation. Adduction only. And I definitely feel this in my lats, and I do feel it in my chest, my pecs too, because they are also responsible for adduction. So you wouldn't want to do a ton of these like before bench press, and I do have bench press tomorrow, but this isn't super strenuous. I don't expect to be sore or anything. Just wanted to try it out, so I did. And I know this is super exciting for you guys to watch. Just felt like sharing something new, I guess. And shoulder adduction is involved with a row or a pull down movement. It's because your elbows are going to be tucked to your sides for the most part, at least if you're doing them correctly. It's just not really a dynamic shoulder adduction movement. It's kind of a static hold. And I just haven't really seen my lats grow much from rowing and pull downs. So just thought maybe I'd focus a little more on extension and adduction as the dynamic portion of the lift for a little bit and see how things go. But I don't really expect huge improvements from my lats. I think they're just poor responders to weight training, unfortunately. Here's the biceps exercise, and I did 3 sets of each of these. It was 3 sets of 12 on the shoulder adduction movement, and then I think it was 1 set of 12, 2 sets of 10 on curls because I raised the weight just a little after this first set you're seeing. After this, you'll just see a very short clip of one of my favorite songs by my favorite artist. Just felt like including it because I feel like we all struggle with following through with a lot of things, especially in bodybuilding and powerlifting. Talk to you guys later.
So, since you wanna be with me, you'll have to follow through with every word you say.